Hello guys and welcome. Today we're gonna talk about Classic WoW and Season of Discovery and the upcoming Cataclysm Classic launch in May 2022. Now, in today's video I wanna talk about three biggest problems of Season of Discovery and WoW Classic. You see, and I got inspired by this post on WoW Classic Reddit called "The level of grit is a joke at this point, to be honest." And in this post, the community is talking about how broken the community is, and not just how broken the economy is, but also how the mind, the how we play this game. And it also in this video we're also gonna talk about the human nature. Okay, now there are three biggest problems when it comes to WoW Classic and human nature. First one is time, second one is capitalism, and third one are bots. Okay, now when we get older, we realize that the biggest thing we have is time, and the more older you get, the more responsibilities we get, the less time we have. Okay, and that's also one of the reasons why people prefer character boosts over the years, even though they were usually so over expensive that nobody was really buying them. And this also destroys theory crafting a lot, because not everybody has, you know, weeks and months to level up a single character. People just want to enjoy the game and try different class and race combinations. Now, and this is probably also one of the reasons the lack of time is probably also one of the reasons why Blizzard was focusing on mobile games, because a lot of people who are working a lot, we lack time, so now the second reason. Okay, this post is actually very good, and it really, a lot of good comments in this post, and people are talking about how everything has to be a business, and this is true. People, a time investment. Okay, we can actually connect time investment, capitalism and bots very well. You see, what most people don't realize is that the game and games like World of Warcraft and social media are more than 50% bots, like promotional accounts, you see. And this is actually a huge problem, because then any casual player, any time investment you put into this game is totally meaningless, and it feels just like a waste of time. You see, why would anybody play World of Warcraft when you have thousands of bots who are farming mats, who are doing professions? There is no reason then to play the game, because bots, are literally destroying the game inside out. Your time investment becomes totally useless because of bots. You see, there is no reason to play the game. And there was also this discussion, should we make fresh server for Cataclysm Classic? Of course, nobody wanna play on these old Wrath of the Lich King servers that have the economy totally broken by the bots, GDKP, and tokens and bots. You see, people have thousands of gold, so if you start now, you're gonna be behind forever if you don't buy gold. And it actually got to this point that only way for you to compete is that you buy gold, because you are competing against all these endless bots who are farming mobs and materials constantly. And even if you can literally spend 8 hours a day playing this game and you will get nowhere, you see. And this is also one of the biggest reasons why why Blizzard should manage bots better. And if Blizzard doesn't address bots in Cataclysm Classic, the game will have very similar problems like Season of Discovery. Very, very similar. Let me drink some milk. If Blizzard doesn't address bot issue, if Blizzard doesn't address overexpensive game services, then playing Cataclysm Classic will be meaningless, even though Cataclysm Classic itself is one of the most complete form of a game of World of Warcraft we ever had, But because bots, any profession will be totally meaningless. right? There is no reason for you to do any profession because all these bots are gonna totally devalue it. I mean, even your time investment, even you playing this game, right? The fact that Blizzard doesn't address bots, it's the same as saying we don't care about your time investment and we don't care about the economy, which is integral part of the whole game, of the whole ecosystem, right? And there is another issue. This is especially true in America, okay? Capitalism. Everything has to be about money. Everything has to be about business. And when you turn things into a huge business, right? If you read some of the posts here, you see people are talking how every service in the game now is paid for, you see? And because the value of the gold is so devalued, because the value of the gold is so devalued, because of the, especially because of the bots and because of this new broken event we had that so many people got like thousands of golds for free. Everything is now a service, okay? That's the problem. Everything is now a business. And this is also a problem, especially on social media like YouTube, right? That's why we have 50 to 70% of the accounts are actually bots, like a promotional accounts. It's a huge business. And when you turn content creation into a huge business, it becomes meaningless. And this goes totally against the spirit of WoW Classic. But I understand why in America everything has to be business. Because even to survive in America, you have to pay for everything. Everything you need to pay for. So even if you just want to survive, you have to pay, right? And then the same mentality came into games, right? I feel like it's normal. Like you value your time investment, and if you give a service, you expect something in return. Okay, that's okay. But this level of greed has gone beyond what is normal like years ago, right? And when the game is 50% bots, all these issues are even three times worse. Like the only reason people are still playing WoW Classic is because half of them don't realize that there are so many bots in game, even though it's obvious. It's obvious when you have bots farming your game 24/7, right? And it got to this point that there are now more bots than actual players. That's how bad the situation is. Because Blizzard is never addressing this. And instead of actually addressing all these issues, guess what? They just make Cataclysm Classic again now. And it feels so cheap. That's the problem, it feels so cheap. And even though Cataclysm is great expansion, I still feel like many people won't really play it. Because Blizzard doesn't really care about you. They don't really care about your time investment anymore, right? All they care is about how many subscriptions that they get, right? And if Blizzard would be a good businessman, they would address these issues years ago. Because in a long time, this would help them to get more healthy player base, more trust from the community, right? To restore hope back into the community, right? That's what Blizzard should do. If they don't address a lot of these glaring issues, even Cataclysm, which is one of the most innovative and complete form of World of Warcraft ever, won't have a lot of players, right? If bots are gonna run around in straight lines, if a single character boost will be $60, $70, $80 instead of $30, I don't feel like Cataclysm Classic will do much better than Season of Discovery did, And why are we calling it Season of Discovery when it's just bots and selling services and, there are warlocks and mages. We already know how Season of Discovery was literally designed for gold farmers and boters, right? Just look what abilities did they give to mages so they can solo farm dungeons, They didn't deal with bots, Bots were always the problem. There were countless of bots literally running in straight lines to dungeons. They were solo farming dungeons 24/7. And then people are surprised why our economy is broken, right? You have these warlock and mage bots selling services in the chat 24/7, 20 gold for a teleport, 20 gold for a summon, right? And they also use scripts, they use AI to sell these services all day long. And Blizzard is never addressing this. You really think old Blizzard 20 years ago would allow this? No, because they understood that such things totally destroy the economy of your game, and in the long run totally scare all the players away, because anybody who sees all these bots in game is like, why would I play this game when my time is not valued, when my time, economy and everything I do in this game is totally meaningless. It totally loses value. And this is like Blizzard saying, we don't care about you, we don't care how much time you invest in our game, right? They don't respect your time, and they don't respect your subscription. And anybody that's a good businessman would understand that in the long run this is just a big problem. But because again Blizzard now just can release Cataclysm Classic, they don't care, right? They don't care, right? This is a big problem. Because all this, they didn't even make a new content in the last 20 years. They literally just rehashed 20-year-old content, right? This WoW Cataclysm and WoW Classic were made out of pure love and pure passion, right? And today Blizzard, most of the people who made this are not even working at Blizzard anymore. No. We are just supporting these greedy businessmen at this point. And all these balancing decisions they did in WoW Classic, they were already minimum, right? And most of the balance changes and patches were totally disconnected from the game. Zero good balance changes, zero good updates, They add few new recycled assets from the previous expansions, add some HP, some few items, and they call it a day. And a few runes from Wrath of the Lich King expansion, right? And we are just simply taking it, we are not criticizing it, right? But how can you really criticize, Social media management is very bad, Most Reddit communities are totally mismanaged and moderated wrongly. There is no criticism anymore. YouTube used to be a platform where we could actually express ourselves, not anymore. If you literally go under any this big company YouTube channel, they're 50% bots, or they remove all the criticism. So YouTube is pointless, Reddit is pointless because you also have negative karma if you have a popular opinion. Literally social media doesn't care about your opinion, nobody cares about your opinion, right? Because all this, and again, it's all Reddit, YouTube, all these platforms are American platforms. They have this, in a sense, they have this, freedom of expression, but when it really comes down to it, there is no freedom of expression, On Reddit, most of the criticism gets deleted, or you get downvoted, and once you get negative karma, your comments don't even appear anymore, and it's even worse on YouTube. I mean, you have some, community YouTube channels where you can comment these things, that's good, but there's the smaller channels. Under any big official channels, you can't really do that, they just remove your criticism, And if the game is like 50-70% bots, why you think social media is not? Reddit, YouTube, Facebook. Like 5 years ago, there were a Facebook post, even though Facebook is not even popular, especially for gaming anymore, that they banned like thousands or millions of accounts. How many accounts do you think YouTube is banning? Zero. Let that sink in. When was the last time YouTube was talking about banning bots or promotional accounts? Never. Because it almost feels like 50-70% of these social media platforms are bots or promotional accounts, and this is what makes them seem popular, right? But in America they also do this mistake, they literally design sports and politics around social media, which is more than 50% manipulative bots. There is a really good video called Dead Internet Theory, I think it's called, or something like that. Why the internet is dead, okay? Yeah, the internet is fake, this video. Very good video. There are so many videos about this, and like I said, time investment, economy, aka capitalism, and bots are the three main reasons why playing any MMORPG today, or even making videos for content creation for social media is totally meaningless. You're just wasting your time. Because if on YouTube, for example, if you have no intentions of using bots like a promotional accounts, everybody can do it. Everybody can have multiple accounts, you know, like everybody can do it. If you don't intend to manipulate algorithm and your viewers with bots or promotional accounts, you literally have no chance on this platform. And it's same on Twitch, for example, right? That's why it's totally meaningless to do anything on these platforms anymore. You see, these platforms used to be a way to share your content with the people, to be creative. But these days it's just about who can use more bots and who can manipulate more people. And if you go on Twitch, for example, you know, you can just type like whatever, League of Legends, okay? Let's see League of Legends. League of Legends. Legends. Oh, damn it, no. Okay, let's go Smite. And you can always check the views, especially on Smite, who is smaller game. You see, first guy, this guy has almost 10,000 viewers. This guy has 1,000 viewers. And this guy has all under 200 viewers. It's almost these guys who use either bots or get handpicked for pro leagues. This is especially true for League of Legends or CSGO. You only way to make it on Twitch is that you either get handpicked for pro leagues and then people think you're one of the best, right? Not earned via official tournaments or rankings. You get handpicked, you get in via friends connection, right? And then you make countless more followers on social media because people think they're one of the best. That's literally how every Smite content creator made their career, right? And it's same in League of Legends, it's same story, right? Most people who appear at the top at League of Legends Twitch either use bots or they get handpicked for pro leagues and then people think they're one of the best, right? It's not about making genuine content creation or whatever. I mean, you can stream for years and still have no chance on this platform because this is how it's either you use bots or you don't, you know? I mean, if you compare two guys that make identical content, identical love in their videos, and one uses promotional accounts and other doesn't, the first one get 2-3 times more viewers, easy. Every big YouTuber you watch has been doing this for years. Almost every big YouTuber, right? Like we can, for example, type Minecraft or, I mean, almost any big YouTuber that has like 500,000 subscribers have been using promotional accounts for years now, for years. You know, I can go by names, but it's literally almost 70% of them you watch. I mean, these here are just obvious bots under Minecraft videos, even though these videos are literally being watched by children. But this is just obvious example, right? And you can always check the creation date of these accounts, right? State of YouTube, for example, has never been worse than it is today. Anybody that tells you that YouTube is fine, it's not. YouTube is worse than ever. And any social media is almost 70% bots or promotional accounts. That's how bad it is. You can check the creation date. It's always only few-year-old accounts, you know, even 1-2-year-old accounts. I'm surprised YouTube is never addressing this. I mean, this is what makes YouTube. Without bots, YouTube would be probably only like 30-40% of real actual people. That's how bad the situation is. And then why in-game isn't the same problem, you know? And it's gonna be the same problem in WoW Cataclysm. You guys gonna see. It's gonna be... The Season of Discovery was only a seasonal server, right? In Cataclysm it's gonna be even worse. It's gonna be even fucking worse. Any profession will be totally meaningless. You will see, guys, any profession. And if Blizzard doesn't address bot issue, if they don't address overexpensive game services and unbalanced factions, the game will die in probably few months. I almost guarantee. Because then it will be so many bots, even though the game itself is great. But you will be not able to theory craft because of the overexpensive game services like character boosts. Professions will be totally devalued. Even you grinding dungeons will be totally devalued, you know? Because there will be countless of bots, countless of doing professions. You know, people make professions tier list when most of them are totally useless. Because bots, you know, again. And if Blizzard doesn't address this, it's not gonna be much better. It's actually gonna be much, much worse. I really hope Blizzard learned anything from Season of Discovery, you know? But bots play such a major part of these companies. Any big company you see on YouTube has been using it promotional accounts for years now. And it almost plays such a huge part that they really can't deal with it, or they will lose half of the players in, you know. But at the long run, you have to deal with this. Otherwise, your game will die inside out. Your platform, especially when more people realize this, you know. You have to deal with this. You know, you can't have bots running in straight lines when there are real players, because any real player in game will realize there is no reason to play this game anymore. It's totally devalues all the time, you know. You have to realize, you have to think as a player, you know. How would you react if you play a game and there are literally 10 bots running in straight lines? I just quit, man. I quit because I realize my time investment is not appreciated here, you know. And especially because we lack time, you know. So let me know what you guys think about this, and see you in the next one, you know.